shocking report reveals that other teams are in the mix to rival the Steelers in their pursuit of retaining Justin Fields. Teams like the New York Jets are reportedly ready to offer Fields multi-year contracts, where the Steelers have reportedly only offered Fields a one-year deal. As ongoing conversations for a contract continue, the Steelers are at risk of losing Fields forever. He has expressed his desire to remain in Pittsburgh, but if the Steelers are not willing to meet his contract demands, he will go elsewhere. Thank you guys for joining me here on Steelers Digest. And before we get into the meat of the video, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. Steelers Digest. We're trying to grow this channel up over 1,000 subscribers. So hit that sub button and we will keep you up to date on the latest Pittsburgh Steelers news, rumors, updates, and analysis. Today we are talking about Justin Fields, our quarterback from last season who could end up with a new team next year. He is expected to test the market, according to Rossini, in a new report that was posted by Steelers Depot. And in this article, it talks about Geno Smith being a huge domino that just fell yesterday. He was traded to the Las Vegas Raiders to reunite with his former coach, Pete Carroll, from Seattle. So Carroll goes to the Raiders. Geno Smith follows him there, which means the Seahawks are going after Sam Darnold, who the Vikings said, we are not keeping. So Sam Darnold could be the Seahawks' next quarterback. J.J. McCarthy is probably going to be the starter for the Minnesota Vikings, which means the Steelers are no longer able to go after Geno Smith. They're no longer able to go after Sam Darnold. So with these dominoes falling, decisions have to be made, and teams are getting more and more desperate for a quarterback that can actually win football games. Fields has proven he is that guy. He went 4-2 as a Steelers starter, and teams like the Jets are ready to pull the trigger on Fields. So the Steelers have to make a decision soon. Fields ready to cash in because money is going to be bigger now that he is one of the few quarterbacks left on the open market once free agency actually opens up. And this should create a lot of opportunities for Justin Fields, being that all these other quarterbacks are going elsewhere, because the teams that need a quarterback, he should be their first option, logically. And Pittsburgh has not made an agreement with him on a contract, which means he could go anywhere he wants still at this point in time. Fields has been the popular choice for the Steelers quarterback next year among all the media members and the fan base. And when it comes to who do we want to be this quarterback of this franchise, Justin Fields' name has been by far the most common in all talks, whether it's analysts, whether it's fans, whether it's people within the Steelers organization, insiders. Everybody believes that Fields is the guy, but it's ultimately up to the Steelers. Are they willing to give him the money that he deserves, and are they willing to give him a multi-year deal to stay with Pittsburgh? So after they changed to Russell Wilson last year, we saw a very different offense for Arthur Smith and the Steelers. It was actually a really good offense for a little while, and then they hit a lull and became absolutely atrocious, similar to the offenses that we've seen in recent years for the Pittsburgh Steelers. So you could argue their best offense last year was when Justin Fields was at the helm, and that they should re-sign him for 2025 if they want to win. And then we look at the rumors. Pittsburgh open to pursuing other options as Fields and Wilson remain unsigned. And if we get into the meat of that article, the Steelers haven't been shy about their intentions for the 2025 season. They have said multiple times they want to re-sign Wilson or Fields. Not both, but one of them. And with the start of free agency looming, neither quarterback is under contract. So according to the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, the team is not ruled out going in a different direction. They surely want to have the quarterback situation resolved by now, but the NFL's legal tampering period is starting on March 10th, which is seriously going to rival the Steelers in their pursuit of retaining one of these quarterbacks. Other teams can make a splash. The Giants have been linked to Russell Wilson, and now the Jets have been linked to Justin Fields. So if both quarterbacks go to the Big Apple in New York with the Giants and the Jets, the Steelers are going to be left without a quarterback. And they're either going to have to draft a quarterback or really give up a lot to get a quarterback, or worse, we might be stuck with Aaron Rodgers. So you never know what's going to happen, but we are monitoring this situation for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Fields was always the favorite to be the guy. He is the preference moving forward, according to literally all accounts and all the reports that I have read, but if he signs somewhere else, the Steelers are in a really tough spot. Fields had the numbers. You know, he had a 65.8% completion percentage, over 1,000 yards in his 6 starts, 5 touchdowns, only 1 interception, 6.87 yards per attempt. Not great, but he was very efficient when he was on the field as the Steelers' starting quarterback. The Pittsburgh Post-Gazette's report could very well be the Steelers' attempt to put some public pressure on Justin Fields to put pen to paper before Monday. Fields, after all, holds all the leverage in this situation, and it makes all the sense in the world for him to shop his talents for the first time in his career. And that was the recent report, that he is willing to test free agency, that he is leaning towards testing free agency, and then the price could drive up quite a bit. The Steelers, not playing Justin Fields for more than 6 games was their attempt at trying to get him at a better value, at a contract that's more team-friendly. But other teams saw enough in those 6 games and in his time in Chicago to believe that he could be a franchise quarterback and that he should be paid as such. And the Jets believe this as well. The New York Jets becoming a real threat to the Steelers quarterback, and that's something that we've heard for a while. Again, these are not new rumors that Jets want Justin Fields. He has been linked to the Jets for months now. Even last year during the season, he was linked to the Jets. As soon as we found out Rodgers was no longer going to be a Jet, of course they want Justin Fields. They need somebody at quarterback, but the Jets and the Browns and teams like this are where quarterback careers go to die. At least the Steelers have had a successful quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger, and since then, yes, it's been kind of a carousel of quarterbacks, but that doesn't mean you can't succeed in that system. We have a decent offense. We have weapons. We're going to get more weapons in the draft, in free agency, in trades, whatever. We have the cap space to help the quarterback out. A decent enough offensive line that's young and getting better. And we're getting Fatanu back. There's so many reasons to stay in Pittsburgh, and Fields wants to. But he also knows that he can get more money on the open market. So of course I don't blame him for testing the open market. The Steelers are nearing dangerous territory when it comes to Justin Fields, because when that tampering period starts, anybody can go after Justin Fields. And the 26-year-old, he is still very young, very promising prospect, a lot better prospect, a lot more put together than any of the draft prospects in this year's draft. This is kind of a light class for quarterbacks, and yes, there's a lot of names, but none of them are Justin Fields. None of these quarterbacks, even Shedeur Sanders, because he didn't participate in the combine, is getting a ton of heat on his name right now, and his draft stock is going down substantially. So do the Steelers go draft Jackson Dart? I don't know. Do they draft Will Howard after his terrible combine performance? I don't know. But right now, the best option remains Justin Fields. The Steelers just have to get a deal done. Find a way to get Fields. Nevertheless, the two sides don't appear close to working out a contract, which is not good for the Pittsburgh Steelers. There's plenty of signal caller vacancies around the NFL, and we talked about the Jets, we talked about the Giants. The Raiders have filled theirs with Geno Smith, but the Jets have been the main team linked to Justin Fields, threatening a possible reunion with the Pittsburgh Steelers, and all reports have been that the Jets are one of the favorites, if not the favorite, to land Fields from Pittsburgh, and that's not good for the Steelers. Obviously, we talked about this already, that the Jets are in the mix, but not that they're favored to get him. That's what it's starting to become, and all the latest tweets, including from Fox Sports' Jordan Schultz, are leading to that notion that Fields could be the next New York Jets quarterback, which means the Steelers are left QB-less. And obviously Pittsburgh would prefer to sign Fields to a shorter-term contract, but Fields knows that the Jets and other teams might be willing to offer him a long-term deal, which means if the Steelers aren't willing to give him that long-term deal, they're going to lose Justin Fields. And talks are ongoing with the Steelers and Fields. They've been ongoing for quite some time, but the clock is ticking. And if the organization can't find a way to retain him before noon Eastern time on Monday, they have their hands tied and may be forced to pivot. So the recent news, I'm going to recap the two things that we talked about today, that the Jets are rivaling the Steelers for Justin Fields. The Steelers are not willing to give Justin Fields a multi-year deal, at least not yet, and that the Steelers are open to exploring other options if Fields and Wilson both go elsewhere. It is very alarming for us that both of these players are linked to other teams and have not been signed yet, but we have until Monday at noon to really start to worry. After that, we should be worried. And I'm already starting to worry a little bit, but the Steelers have a little bit of time left. Hopefully we get a deal done, and hopefully I'm making another video for you guys talking about Justin Fields' next contract with the Steelers. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario, we're going to do a video about what the Steelers' options even are at quarterback if Fields and Wilson both go elsewhere. But thank you guys for watching this video here on Steelers Digest. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. More content on the way, daily Pittsburgh Steelers coverage. Here we go, Steelers, and we'll see you on the next episode.